What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 102, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode will be the stardom sit-ems for my quarterbacks heading into week 7. We're finally getting to them here. I'm going to give you a lot of information on this video, so make sure you're tuned into it. I'm going to give you both sides, the wide receiver and the quarterback defenses and stats, and why I like the quarterbacks this week and why I don't like some quarterbacks. Now, before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, make sure you smash that subscription, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton, guys, more than you guys know. And I will be live all weekend long, Thursday to Monday, different content creators, different shows covering everything week 7 for you guys, fantasy football. And if you cannot make the show, you can always drop any comment you have down below. One of my goals is to try to answer every single one of them for you guys to help you get that weekly win and get you that ultimate goal of a championship, guys. And let's dive into the quarterbacks here. So if you guys are new in the channel here, this is my stardom SitEm board for QBs. The top box, the black box, is always the away box. The bottom box is always the home box or the home team. Before we dive into the Broncos Saints Thursday night football game here, guys, if you're new here, you're coming back, you know I always do this for every video. So what I like to do here is he's a co-host on my show. Big Draft Energy sends me tons of information, helps me out all the time in fantasy football. So a shout out to him. I will put his links and Twitter and YouTube and all that. I know every time I say that, it's like, it's one click, 1 second to find great information, guys. Trust me. Click it, smash a sub, smash a follow on Twitter. It's absolutely great information for fantasy football, and I'm going to break it down for you here. So this is for even if you like DFS or you like pick'ems. This is advantageous matchups for passing touchdowns this week, right? So these are the top 10 worst defenses at giving you passing touchdowns. So you're looking at Jacksonville, Drake May. That's why I have him as a smash play. He'll be in my smash video later this week. Jordan Love, Houston. That all these defenses are here give up the most. So if you want to screenshot this, you can rewind the video later, whatever you want. This is information you need to take down. Now we're gonna do one more here. This is the most advantageous matchups for week 7. So these are completions. So if you're looking at DFS completions or pick'em completions, whatever it is, these are the top 10 defenses that give up the most completions to quarterbacks. And as you see again here, Drake May is here again, guys. This is why I'm so high on Drake May as a play this week. So grab this screenshot, whatever you want to do, take a picture with your phone, whatever it is, and let's dive into it here. So this game's going to be ugly, guys. First, before we even, I'll just drop them in here. It's all going to be red, but we got to talk about it here. So the injuries in this game are substantial. Bo Nix on his side offensively is not missing anybody, right? But on the Saints side for Spencer Rattler, we're going to talk about first here. You have Chris Olave out with a concussion. You have Rashid Shaheed headed to IR with the meniscus. Derek Carr's still out, probably another 3 to 4 weeks here. We don't know about his full status yet. You're also going to have Taysom Hill out in this game. So it's literally going to be Bub Means and Alvin Kamara out there. So it's really going to, or Tipton as well, too. It's really going to be ugly on his side of the passing. And Denver's defense, guys, is very good versus the pass. So if I want to look at it here, Denver's defense currently right now, even with the injury to Patrick Surtain, they're still number 1 versus the pass, give up 12.4 points per game. And they give up 2.5 in the red zone, another top 5 ranking as well. And then they give up 113 yards to the wide receiver. And then versus the quarterback, Denver is also number 5, giving up 12 points a game. So I know Patrick Surtain being out there is going to hurt the defense, but still, this is a rookie quarterback in his second start. I'm not starting either one of these quarterbacks. On the Bo Nix side for the Saints versus the quarterback on the season have been middle of the tier here. So they're ranked 17th. They give up 22 points a game. But Bo Nix and the Denver offense has been struggling. They're on the road, short week. It's just really rough. And the Saints get really good in the red zone as well, too. They stingy up there. They rank 7th in the red zone. And there's no weapons. It's Cortland Sutton, and he's not really a top-tier weapon. I'm not saying he's a bad receiver. He's just not an elite electric receiver. They need something. Javonte Williams struggling. Jaleel McLaughlin struggling. Greg Dulcich is not even making it out there. I'm staying away from this game at all costs, guys. Bang, bang, Niner gang, revenge time game here, man. We get the Kansas City Chiefs, who have just killed me Super Bowl-wise for years, coming into the San Francisco 49ers this week. And you're going to have Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not putting Patrick Mahomes as a starting quarterback, guys. You just cannot. I know the name is there. I know he's one of the greatest of all time, and they win games. But Patrick Mahomes has not had a 20-point fantasy football play yet this year. You're down Rashee Rice. You're down Hollywood Brown. You're down Pacheco. They do have Kels. The 49ers will key on Kels. This is not our first rodeo here with him. Fred Warner is one of the best linebackers in the game. I'm not buying Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the game. I'm not buying the Juju Smith-Schuster hype off one game like everyone is. I think it's going to be a bust play. But when I'm looking at the 49ers defense here versus the quarterback, we do give up 19.7. We're also top 10 in the red zone as well there, and 150 pass yards a game. Or sorry, that's to the wide receiver. Let me back it up here. My bad. I'm on my wrong page. So the 49ers versus the quarterback give up 15.2 points per game. Mahomes' projection will be around 17, so I think he's going to be under his projection again. We're number 9 in the red zone, so a top 10 red zone defense, giving up 227 pass yards a game. I don't know if Ward's going to be out there yet off injury. That'll be big if he's not. But still, it's just an injury game that I like to stay away from here for the Chiefs side. Their weapons are just not there, and Patrick Mahomes has not been producing. Heading to the Brock Purdy side, absolute smash start here for Brock Purdy, 100%. The Kansas City Chiefs rank 17th versus the quarterback, giving up 15.8 points per game. They rank 14th in the red zone, so middle tier, and they allow 224 pass yards. But when you play the Niners, it's just a different breed, man. Shanahan's offense is just different. And then the Chiefs also versus the wide receiver rank 17th, giving up 16 points. They rank 14th on the season versus the wide receiver, and they allow 224 pass yards. You're going to have Debo. You're going to have Kittle, who has the best matchup on paper this week versus the Kansas City Chiefs, who really struggle versus the tight end. Jordan Mason looks to be back out there healthy. It looks like he's practiced twice already. This is going to be an absolute smash game for Purdy here, and I think the 49ers, I know I'm biased, look at the Niners stuff around, but I think we mop them out the building here this game. The crumbling Seahawks are headed into hot Atlanta to take on the Falcons. And this game is going to be interesting to me because I feel like it's going to be a shootout game here, and it's at 51.5 in Vegas for over-under. So they agree as well. So I'm going to go with Geno Smith as a start here, and it's going to be a better start than most because the Falcons' strength is their run defense, right? So versus the quarterback currently right now in the season, and this is kind of skewed as well when you think about this. The Falcons have played very tough opponents out the gate, playoff caliber teams, right? Every single matchup. So their defense is grinding. These numbers are a little lower skewed. If they had an easier schedule, like Seattle's start, they'd probably be a top 5 defense, right? So they're currently 21 versus the quarterback. They rank 31st in the red zone, and they give up 202 pass yards a game to the quarterback position. And when you're looking at wide receivers as well here, who they're going to be going up against Drake London, Mooney, Kyle Pitts, all that combined, the Seattle Seahawks rank 11th on the season. So like I said, their numbers are skewed. They're skewed upwards. Falcons are skewed downwards. So the Seahawks ranked 11th versus the quarterback or versus the wide receiver, giving up 19.5 points and 12th in the red zone as well. They stingy up there and they give up 124 yards to the wide receiver position, but they haven't played a beast like this. So I'm going to have Geno Smith as an absolute start. I'm going to have Kirk Cousins as an absolute start here. And if I'm looking at Seattle versus the quarterback, right? So Seattle ranks, like I said, they rank 11th and 12th versus the quarterback, but they played Bo Nix, they played Jacoby Brissett, and they played Skylar Thompson. So these numbers are very low for a reason. Now, when you look at the wide receiver for Seattle, it's the same kind of thing. They rank middle of the tier, but if they played a harder schedule, it'd be different. This is going to be a feast game for Kyle Pitts. This can be a feast game for Drake London. This can be a feast game for DK Metcalf. The Falcons funnel passes to the wide receiver 1, but we'll get to all that in my wide receiver video. I like both these quarterbacks as absolute starts this week, even in 12-man 1 QB leagues. It is time to get spicy, guys. Monday Night Football. The Ravens are headed into the Bucs, and this is the QB1 overall versus the QB2 overall. And yes, that is Lamar Jackson versus Baker Mayfield. But we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson first here. So Lamar Jackson, this is an absolute pure gold matchup across the board for everything. Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, all of them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense are 31st versus the quarterback right now in the season, giving up 19.9 points. That's a 20-point average. You know Lamar is going to crush 20 points in this game. 26 in the red zone. They give up 269 pass yards a game to the quarterback. Man, oh man, this is going to be a high-flying game. It's at 50 or 49.5 at Vegas right now. Just like the game before I talked about, this is going to be a shootout game on Monday Night Football that I cannot wait to watch. Now, headed to Baker Mayfield's side. It's the same thing. The Baltimore Ravens, so look at it like this. Tampa Bay is 31st versus the quarterback. Baltimore is 30th. So these are bottom of the barrel. Baker Mayfield is on an absolute heater. He signed his contract extension and he just went to work. He's out there just balling. Chris Godwin, wide receiver 1 on the season right now. Mike Evans had a slow game last week, but I called that last week versus Lattimore. And you got Kate Otten even emerging. The run game is going to be very tough against Baltimore. They are number 1 versus the run, allowing 42 rush yards a game. This is going to have to be an air attack all the way for Baker Mayfield. And dude, Baker might just become a top 5 quarterback that you can start every single week and not even question about it anymore. It's getting crazy how good this guy looks this year. He's going to be in the MVP race. These are your 2 MVP race guys. This is a very big statement game here for both quarterbacks that I cannot wait to watch. And you're smashing both these guys in your lineups. Another all systems green here for me that I'm okay starting in 12-man leagues again here. We have the Commanders hosting the Panthers this week. You have Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, and JD5. I both has them as starts here this week. And we're going to talk about Andy Dalton and why I like him as a start here this week again. So the Commanders can't stop anything, guys. Their defense is one of the worst in the league. They are 27th versus the pass, allowing 18.5 points per game. So that already right there on average is way over Andy Dalton's projection. The pass yards they allow is absolutely ridiculous at 232 yards, which is bottom 5 of the barrel. That's just quarterback alone. Then they're 24th in the red zone, so very high touchdown upside for everyone here in the Carolina Panthers. And I love Deontay Johnson this week, but we'll get to that in my wide receiver video. Andy Dalton's going to be a smash start this week, guys. Pick'ems, DFS, everything. I love Andy Dalton this week a ton. You can start him in a 12-man, 1 QB league, 100%. Jaden Daniels, this guy is just him, and the matchup is beautiful. The Carolina Panthers give up 18.2 points per game to the quarterback. He's going to smash that. He's going to drop 20, probably 270 rushing, passing combined. It just depends on if the game gets out of hand or not. That's one of the things I'm worried about for him here. But when you're looking at the Panthers, they're also 18th in the red zone. They give up 231 pass yards a game. Act like you're not starting Jaden Daniels. You're starting Jaden Daniels every single week. It doesn't even matter the defense. His rushing upside is too good. The connection with Terry McLaurin is getting amazing. Zach Ertz is even getting a little connection going, which I want to see Benson not, but still got to go with what you got. And you're starting both these quarterbacks. The game of the week is here, guys. Oh my God. I'm going to talk about this one a little longer because I'm just in love with everything in this game, right? So first way to look at this here is both these teams are top 10 versus the run. Very good run defenses. I know the Lions lost Aiden Hutchinson, which is huge. I was going to say Aiden O'Connell for the Raiders. Content brain. But it's still, that's not going to matter. Their defense is, it matters, but their defense is still very good. So Jared Goff, this is smash green all the way, guys. So just take a moment here and let's look at these numbers and listen to how this is going to be an amazing game for both teams here. So wide receiver yards alone by these defenses. The Minnesota Vikings rank 30th, giving up 27.1 a game. Jared Goff is going to absolutely feast. They rank 29th in the red zone, so high touchdown upside. They give up 209 yards to the wide receiver position a game. That's just the wide receiver position alone. That is second worst to the Detroit Lions, who they are playing against. So the Detroit Lions give up the most pass yards to the wide receiver position. They rank 26, giving up 24 points a game to the wide receiver position. And then when you head over to the quarterback side here as well for these guys, I mean, they're coming off a bye for the Vikings too. I mean, oh man. All right. Hang on. Let me slow down because I'm just too excited for this game. So both these teams are decent versus the quarterback. They are ranked 9th and ranked 11th, giving up 14.4 and 14.6. They're both, the Minnesota Vikings are 27th in the red zone, and the Detroit Lions are 10th in the red zone. But here's what you have to look at. They're just that defense that doesn't give up touchdowns, but these are different juggernaut offenses. The Minnesota Vikings, 286 pass yards a game. Worst. That's the worst in the NFL. Then you go down to the Detroit Lions. What do they give up a game? Don't worry, 265. I mean, all systems go. Every single player in this game, except for the Vikings running backs, you know you're still going to start Detroit Lions even though the game's bad, but we'll get to those when I get there. This is a smash Jetta, smash Addison, smash Darnold. And guys, go look at Sam Darnold's schedule ahead. He's going to be on my smash start, and I put him on a buy low and all that and everything like that. So if you look at Sam Darnold's schedule, he's on your waiver wire. Go get this man right now. TJ Hawkinson looks to be back in this game as well, too, to go along with Addison. This is all systems go. I'm taking the over. I'm taking tons of props on this. The over is 49.5 right now. This is going to be a high-flying game in the game of the week. I cannot wait to watch it. The most disappointing game to me, man, it's not the game. It's just the situation of the game. The Steelers are hosting the Jets Sunday Night Football, and we're going to talk about the Steelers first. For some reason, Mike Tomlin, who I love as a head coach, takes Justin Fields, who's QB 6 overall right now, 4-2 record, could have been 6-0 if a couple balls bounced this way or that way, the defense made the play, and says, oh, we're going to give the starting job to Russell Wilson. I'm just baffled at this, man. So I'm going to tell you again, like I said in the other video, I'm going to call it now. Russell Wilson is going to start this game. He is going to get thrashed, and you're going to hear the Boo Bears come out in Pittsburgh calling for Justin Fields back as the starter again, and he will be starting week 8. But in this game, you get the New York Jets. This is terrible. The New York Jets are third versus the quarterback, giving up 10 points a game. Number 1 in the red zone. They give up 170 yards. Sauce is going to be all over Pickens. DJ Reed's on the other side. The Steelers don't really have any of their weapons. And guess what? The Steelers' weak point is versus the tight end. But what does Russell Wilson never do? He never targets his tight ends. So how is this going to work in this game for him? This is going to be so ugly. I think the Jets roll over the Steelers this week, and I don't even think it's close. And Aaron Rodgers, I usually would sit a quarterback playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, right? So look at these numbers. The Steelers are 4th versus the quarterback. They give up 12 points a game. They're number 8 in the red zone, and they allow 228 pass yards a game. Now, Aaron Rodgers gets his boy back, gets Devontae Adams to go along with Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard. It's like he just handpicked his own dynasty team that he wanted to bring in and just dominate with. Breece Hall, the lanes are going to be wide open. You can't stack the box anymore any single way. This is going to be electric to watch with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Tyler Conklin, Alan Lazard. If Aaron Rodgers is on your waiver wire, go get this man now. I don't care that he's 40. He's one of the best passers of the football. I don't care if they're playing the Steelers. You're not going to be able to stop this offense, man. Man. The Raiders are headed into the LA Rams, and I don't think I'm ever going to be starting either of the Raiders quarterbacks for the rest of the season. Probably, I don't even like it in Superflex. I could probably find a better flex play than these guys in Superflex. They get the LA Rams. So, I mean, coming off the bye, they're going to get a little healthier on defense. The Rams still ranked 22nd, giving up 18.1 versus the quarterback. They ranked 12th in the red zone. They give up 231 pass yards, but there's no Devontae Adams. Jacoby Myers is banged up. You saw what Trey Tucker did last week acting as the wide receiver 1. Absolutely 0-0 goose egg. And you're going to have Brock Bowers. It's the focal point now of defenses. I know that Brock Bowers' value skyrockets to the moon, but it's going to be a different look for him as well. And it's just falling apart in Oakland. I know they get Zamir White back. He practiced today. Looks like he's going to be back in the mix there with them. They named him I don't know if they named him the starting running back yet, but still, I don't think any of that matters. And when I head to the Rams side here, I want to put Matthew Stafford as a smash start because you're playing the Raiders, but I don't think that's how this game is going to go. So when I'm looking at the Raiders defense here versus the quarterback, the Las Vegas Raiders, it's a smash play. They give up 18.4 points per game to the quarterback position. They rank 30th in the red zone, and they give up 206 pass yards. But what's going to happen in this game is going to be the Kyren Williams show. So I know you'll get Cooper Kupp back, but if they don't score 2 passing touchdowns in the first half, I feel like you're just going to see 25 touches from Kyren and him just run them over in this game. And I feel really bad for Raider fans, man. I don't even know. They might be giving away tickets for like $100 by the end of the season at this rate. It's really, really ugly in Vegas, and I just can't do it. But Stafford, you can start, but I don't like it as a smash start. The revenge game of all revenge games is here. Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Jalen Hurts, are headed back into the New York Giants Stadium this week. Now, I'm going to explain this one a little differently here. Yes, I still have Jalen Hurts as a start. And we'll talk about the numbers here first. So the New York Giants currently rank 19th versus the quarterback, giving up 17.3. They rank 11th in the red zone, so they stingy up there. And they give up 223 pass yards a game. But remember, this is the Saquon Barkley revenge game of the New York Giants. So I don't fully like Jalen Hurts as a smash start. Obviously, you're going to start him if you own him. I think there's better options at quarterback to be had. I honestly think that Drake May will outscore Jalen Hurts this week. And I think it's just going to be the Saquon show. I think they're going to feed this guy 25, 30 touches, and he's going to absolutely crush the New York Giants. Now, heading to the Danny Dimes side, I was completely wrong last week. I thought he had an absolute plus matchup versus Cincinnati Bengals and would be a good quarterback, and he had his Danny Dimes week that he does. So in this matchup, they have another good matchup here. The Philadelphia Eagles are 16th versus the quarterback. They give up 15.4 points. They're 19th in the red zone, so high touchdown upside, and they give up 230 pass yards. And you're going to have Neighbors back. So I'm not, and this is a smash matchup for the wide receiver. Or the Eagles do not stop the wide receiver at all. It is very bad. We'll get to that in my wide receiver video. But I just don't trust Danny Dimes. I mean, I want to put him as a start him again here, but he let me down last week. If you need the start, you could use him. I mean, he's not a sit him because the matchup's too good. and they can be playing from behind. A lot of volume is there as well too. But it's just this guy, Danny Dimes. I just got to start putting him red, I think. But for now, I'm going to leave him last shot here, yellow for him, because it is a good matchup again. Joe Burrow is headed in to face Deshaun Watson this week as the Bengals take on the Cleveland Browns. And Joe Burrow is just lighting it up. QB5 on the year, absolutely smash play this week. 100% you're putting him in your lineup. And like, if you follow my content, I've been saying the Cleveland Browns defense is good, but the problem is they can't move the ball. So the Cleveland Browns are 14th versus the quarterback, giving up 15.1. They're second in the red zone, so low touchdown upside there, and 210 yards a game. And they were a number one defense coming into the season. And it's just Deshaun Watson. I don't know why they still have this guy as a quarterback. I don't know why they haven't put in Jameis Winston. They just don't want to own that they gave one of the worst contracts in NFL history, and they're just going to go down with the sinking ship, it feels like. And on the Deshaun Watson side, the matchup is great. The Bengals are very bad versus quarterback and very bad versus the wide receiver, but they trade away Amari Cooper. We know that Jerry Jeudy, according to Steve Smith, is just a jag, just a guy. I don't think he's the wide receiver one. I think it could be a big game for Njoku, but Deshaun Watson doesn't really target his tight ends that much. So, I mean, look at this Bengals defense. They're 25th versus the quarterback, giving 18.3 points. Should be a smash Deshaun Watson game. I don't trust it. They're 22nd in the red zone. High touchdown upside there as well, giving up 216 pass yards a game. But again, it's Deshaun Watson. I'm not starting this guy. He should be on every single waiver wire. It's time to bring in crab cake, Jameis Winston, and let it fly. The early morning London game is going to be the Patriots heading into Jacksonville. They're the home team, but it is in London. But pretty much the Jags are pretty much the home team in London with how much they play there every single year. And this is going to be an all systems green game here. I absolutely love Drake May in this game, guys. I ranked him as quarterback 15, very high. Most content creators do not have him that high. And I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence as the stardom here as well. And why I like Drake May so much this week is not only the fact that Gerard Mayo had already said that the lineup's going to switch for the wide receivers. And if you've seen my content, I've been just yelling to get Javon Baker out there as a wide receiver. It is time to let my man go to work. But you get the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. They rank 32nd versus the quarterback. They rank 32nd versus the wide receiver. They give up 24 points a game to the quarterback. That is dead last by a 5.2 average. Tampa Bay is 19 points behind them. They give up 19. And they're 28th in the red zone. They give up 287 pass yards a game. That is second worst in the NFL. Demario Douglas is going to eat in this game. He's going to be one of my smash starts. We'll get to that later in my videos for wide receivers. Heading over to the Trevor Lawrence side, I missed on him last week. I had him as a sit versus Chicago Bears, but he beat me in garbage time. He got his points, so I got to eat that bullet. But man, he should have been a sit. But now he's a start in this game. You get the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots defense ranks 10th versus the quarterback. They rank 13th in the red zone. But here's the thing. The wide receivers for the Patriots is where they struggle. They give up 20.8 points a game there. They rank 20th in the red zone, so high touchdown upside for BTJ in this game, even though he might draw Christian Gonzalez. I don't know who he's going to be on in this game. Honestly, I think BTJ has kind of won the wide receiver one job, but he could sprinkle in on Christian Kirk, could sprinkle in on, BTJ. And then you had Gabe Davis go for 2 touchdowns, but I don't think he'll draw Christian Gonzalez. I think that was just an outlier game for him. But this is going to be a high-scoring game, guys, and it's going to be a good game to wake up early and watch. The over/under is at 42, so I think that's going to be over for sure. I think I'd take that bet if I was, if I was going to tell you guys to take a bet, that'd be a lock that I would take. I think it's going to be way over 42 points in this game. These defenses can't stop anything, and I like both these quarterbacks to start them. And remember, I said I even like Drake May over Jalen Hurts this week. Another high-flying point, a fair game is here, 47.5 over/under. For the Packers hosting the Texans this week. This is a big game. This is a star-studded game. This is going to be all systems green for J. Love and Stroud in this game. I'm going to start off with the Texans here. And man, Green Bay Packers ranked 19th versus the quarterback, giving up 22.6 points a game. So easy projection for him to smash there. 26 in the red zone, giving up 8.1. They give up 150 pass yards, though. They stingy up in the red zone, but now you're facing just Jair Alexander is probably going to be on Stephon Diggs. This is why I love Tank Dell so much this week, and kind of why I'm higher on Dalton Schultz this week. But I'll get to that in my tight end video. Now, heading to the Green Bay side for the Texans. The Houston Texans are good at stopping the run, guys. That's their strength all the way. They stop the tight end and they stop the run. Versus the quarterback, They give up 23.4 points a game. That ranks 22nd. They stingy up in the red zone right in the middle of the pack, ranking 15th. And they give up 141 pass yards a game. But now you got Jaden Reed. Now you got Romeo Dobbs back. He popped 2 touchdowns last week. You got Dontavian Wicks, who got hurt day to day. And you have Christian Watson, who could have had 2 teeters and looked healthy like a machine out there. This is an offense not to be messed with. This is going to be a big-time game that I cannot wait to see, guys. And it's going to be one of those games where I'll get to it running back-wise. Josh Jacobs, I don't like in this game. I know most people are going to start him, but I'll get to why I don't like him in my next video. I think this is going to be an all-out air attack, and both these quarterbacks are absolute smash starts this week. My second sea of red game is here. Monday Night Football. The Chargers are headed in to take on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. And the Cardinals have just been struggle bus. But we'll talk about Justin Herbert here first here. And this is going to be one of those games where it looks good on paper, right? The Arizona Cardinals rank 27th versus the quarterback, giving up 24 points a game. They rank 31st in the red zone, so there's very high touchdown upside there as well, giving up 156 pass yards to the quarterback. But this is the Jim Harbaugh offense. This is going to be a game that probably gets away from the Cardinals, where you see the ground and pound run game here. J.K. Dobbins looked good last week. J.K. Dobbins has a super plus matchup this week. I know they're going to be missing Josh Palmer back out there. Quentin, I don't know Quentin Johnson's status. I know he got hurt in the game and came back. I was going to say they're missing him, but they're not. And Lad McConkey looked great last week, seeing the most targets he's had all season. But still, I think this is going to be a Vidal, J.K. Dobbins game here. I don't like Justin Herbert as a start, even though the matchup is great. Now, this is one of my big sits heading into the week here. Kyler Murray. I don't know what is going on with this guy. I don't know if it's that he has the Madden curse of Call of Duty or whatever it is for him. And you're going to have Marvin Harrison, who's also now going to be probably out with a concussion. I'm not going to, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say that he's out right now because they play on Monday. So you have that terrible strategic fantasy football moment as an owner where you're like, do I play this flex now or do I wait till Monday? And then he's ruled out Monday and you're left with nothing. So I never take that risk. I'm not even putting Marvin Harrison Jr. in my lineup this week. But when you're looking at Kyler Murray, you're going up against one of the top defenses here in the Chargers. So this is going to be just rough for him. And he's been struggling. So if I'm looking at his points, he had 11 points last week against Green Bay, which is a plus matchup, right? I know Marvin went down at second quarter in the game. He's only done a little rushing here. He had 14 yards, three yards, 2 games before that. He popped the big one versus the Niners, got down the sideline. I was at that game, and it was terrible to watch. And, of course, he goes for 26 against us. But with no Marvin, I just feel like this is going to be really, really ugly. The Chargers defense versus the quarterback ranks number 8. They give up 17 points a game. They rank 8th in the red zone, so top 10 in both categories. They give up 128 yards. And the Chargers' strength is the tight end, and that's all the Arizona has. So it's going to be really, really one of those weird games for me where I don't like either one of these quarterbacks. Maybe he pops, maybe he doesn't, but it's the risk that I don't want to take this week. The Tennessee Titans are headed in to face the Buffalo Bills with the newly acquired Amari Cooper. And I will never make this mistake again, guys. Last week with Will Levis, I was like, it's a plus matchup. I had him in yellow. I didn't have him in green. I had him as you could possibly start him, you could possibly sit him. He could pop for a good matchup. He did absolutely nothing. And if you play in like a super flex league right now and you own Will Levis, you are not starting him. I'd rather play a wide receiver 2 over him this week because what could possibly happen in this game is it could get out of hand so bad that you see Mason Rudolph at halftime or you see Mason Rudolph come in probably in the second quarter. I think this is going to be a really, really ugly game that gets out of hand here for the Titans. And look at the Buffalo Bills. So the Buffalo Bills are 15th versus the quarterback on the season. They're number 6 versus the wide receiver. So this is just going to be really, really, really ugly all the way around for Will Levis. I don't like anything from it. I don't like any Titans except for Tony Pollard this week, but I'll get to that in my running back video. And then this was a double whammy mistake for me last week. I decided to say sit Josh Allen versus the New York Jets D because it was a top defense versus the quarterback, and he is just superhuman. And then when you look at this game, you get the Tennessee Titans, who are number 1 versus the wide receiver and number 1 in passing yards per game. But versus the quarterback, they're number 12, so they give up 14.6. They're number 15 in the red zone, so the touchdown upside there and 150 yards. But now you have Josh Allen. And this guy, I'm never putting on a sit him again. I'm never taking that bold stance again. That was completely wrong. I got to own up to that. Amari Cooper, now he has a wide receiver 1, should open up things for Kincaid. I think it's going to kind of hurt Shakir and Curtis Samuel and them. But I mean, this guy's superhuman. He can win you a fantasy matchup by himself. Josh Allen is always a start for me from here on out. And I'm sorry, Josh, I won't do that again. Last but not least, we got the Miami Dolphins that are headed into the Indianapolis Colts, and it looks like Anthony Richardson is going to be back for this game, and all the numbers would point to not start him, but I'll get to that in a second here. This is so bad for the Dolphins, man. It's just pains my heart that Tua's still out. We don't know. The update says could be cleared for week 8 with him. We don't know when he's going to be back. I hope it's week 8 because all the Dolphins players in fantasy football need help really bad. I mean, Skylar Thompson was out there. It was terrible. Tyler Huntley was out there. It was terrible. He did get them a big win that might have saved their season. But, I mean, look at the matchup here. I can't start this guy. And I did this with Will Levis last week, like I just said. I was like, Will Levis has such a good matchup versus the Colts. You should start him. Nope. Didn't work there. So the Colts give up their 24th versus the quarterback, give 18 points a game. So it looks like it should be a good start. They're 29th in the red zone. A high touchdown upside for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And 250 pass yards a game. But you have Tyler Huntley at quarterback, guys. So I just can't do it. And when I look at Anthony Richardson, I almost put him in yellow. So this is going to be a different type game here. And you got to look at it like this. The Miami Dolphins are number 1 versus the quarterback, guys. They give up 8.5 points per game, right? But they just lost their star DN Phillips. He's out for the year. They rank 4th in the red zone as well. They give up 172 yards. But in this game, why I almost put Anthony Richardson in yellow is because the Dolphins really struggle versus the run. I know Jonathan Taylor didn't practice today, but we got to wait till Friday for that update because if he's out there, he has a chance of being RB1. But I still think Anthony Richardson is going to be superhuman and still beat his projection this week as a starting quarterback. First game back, he's going to be fired up. And I think they're going to get this win. Anthony Richardson is going to ride on from here into glory after this because I think he's just going to go absolutely nuclear after this game. But, man, we need Tua back big time for the Dolphins side. It's just so ugly. I'll get to like a buy now thing. Time to buy Tyreek, time to buy Waddle, time to buy A-Chain. I'll do that real quick right here. If Tua is back next week, but it's so ugly. I just can't. That is it for episode 102, guys. Thanks for rocking with me today. That was my quarterback, stardom, sit-em, every single matchup. And you got to remember, Dak Prescott and Caleb Williams are out, and they are super buy low quarterbacks right now. If you can, open your app up on your phone. Look at their schedules ahead coming. It is absolute gold, guys. Before we head out of here, make sure you smash that like, smash that subscription, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton. I will be live all weekend long. Again, different shows going on to help you guys with week 7, whatever it is. If you cannot make any of the live shows, always drop any comment you have down below. One of my goals is to get to them all, and I try to get to them all. I miss a couple. Life happens. But if you make the live shows, I'll be in there. I'll answer everything you guys got. And that's it for me. I will get my running back, wide receiver, tight end starting videos out before the Thursday night kickoff. I'll catch you guys in the next video. SleezBall out.